You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It's your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging out with you guys. And today we have another great guest interview for you guys. A lot of you guys have been loving having all these young guns on the show. And we got another young stud to share with you what he's got going on with his lawn and landscape company. We got none other than Zachary Capela with Zachary's Lawn and Landscaping on line 2. So Zach, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm really grateful to be here.
Absolutely, man. We're actually recording this late night evening here. It's about 8 o'clock at night. The sun is still up over here, Zach. So it's like getting to that summertime, where it doesn't get dark till 8, 9 o'clock. How about that,
Yeah, pretty nice.
Yeah. Now, where again are you located?
I'm located in Wadsworth, Ohio. It's about 20 minutes away from downtown Akron.
Nice. All right. So we got some more Ohio people on the show, right? So we try to fulfill our monthly quota. That way we don't sound like we're biased, because I don't really like Ohio that much, but that's a whole nother story. Just kidding. If you're in Ohio, don't send me mean emails, But no, I do love Ohio a lot more. You know why? Because you guys got a lot of good people down there, man. You got the Spencers, we got the Almonds, a couple other great folks, and Dylan Stevenson. If I say his name, he actually PayPals me $5. So he's like my closet biggest fan. But anyway, just having fun. Dylan right now is like jumping up and down on the lawnmower. He's so excited I mentioned his name. There you go. So we're going to talk a little bit about you and your story today, which I'm really excited about. We've actually been DMing on Instagram here for a little while now, and I said, hey, circle back with me and let's get you on the show. I've actually said that to a couple of you guys because spring is just a crazy time of year. So why don't you do this really quick? For the folks that don't know you, just take a quick minute or two, just like maybe the highlight reel, the stats of what your business looks like right now. And then we'll take a quick break, hear from today's show sponsors, and then we'll kind of get into it. So what's your current business look like right now?
Yeah, sounds good. So I am Zachary Capela. I'm 16 years old and currently living in Wadsworth, Ohio, like you said. And so before I share just a lot about my landscaping business, I first want to say a few things about my life and my family.
Yeah.
I've been homeschooled all of my life. I did go to 1 year of preschool, but it doesn't really count. So.
Sure.
But I always like being active and staying busy, having something to do because, that's just how I've always been. But I enjoy making music, playing guitar, hanging out with friends and family, and going out with the boys, occasionally going out with the girls. But
yeah,
I play 3 sports, volleyball, basketball, and baseball. And I umpire baseball for the city of Wadsworth in the evenings as well. So
that's right. That's awesome.
I'd say I'm a pretty busy guy, but I sort of enjoy it, and it's fun. So yeah, I'm also active in my church, and I was recently baptized with one of my best friends, David. He also works with me occasionally, and enjoying every minute of my busy lifestyle, but
that's awesome.
Keeps me on my feet.
That's awesome, man.
Like I said,
I was gonna say I actually baptized Liz, and we actually did it at a hot tub and at our old apartment complex. Oh, wow. Yeah, she got saved, and I said, she goes, "What's this whole baptized thing about?" And I said, "Do it right now." She's like, "We don't have to go somewhere." I'm like, "Nope." I said, "Let me bless this thing." And anyway, which way I'm not gonna go down that whole route right now, but
I get you.
Hillside Apartments in Wixom, Michigan. That's where I dunked Liz, and we actually did it twice, just just to make sure that we were good on that, But I'm just kidding, by the way. So had to hold her down for a couple extra seconds. She had a pass, you know what I'm saying? So
there you go.
That's a funny joke. All my Christian friends will laugh at that. But
there you go.
So yeah, you're 16. And by the way, we were getting the catch up before we hit record because elephant in the room, some of you guys that jump on the podcast, you guys are a little nervous. And because who does podcasting? Like me and Paul and Naylor, like this is what we do to kind of create content as social media influencers, which I hate that term. But a lot of you guys that are just like regular, normal people, like you guys are like, how do I do a podcast? And so you were like, hey, I'm kind of nervous. Like, this is really exciting. I want to tell my story, but I was actually really impressed with talking to you before we hit record because you're 16, going on 25. You got a great business going. And so what do you guys mostly focus on? You said you have 40 or 50 accounts, and do you guys do more lawn care, more landscaping, or?
I'm doing around 40 to 55 clients a week right now, and working around 50 hours a week or so. Okay. I have 3 to 5 guys working for me, and each week, and it's really fun. Keeps me busy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, dude, we're gonna kind of crack this whole egg open and hear a little bit more of your story as well. I'm really excited about getting some more young guys on the show, and we've actually had a good streak here of some younger guys, 15, 18, 20, 21 years old, and not all of us old farts are out there only making the money. Amen. So, well, let's do this really quick. Let's take 2 seconds here. We gotta pay for the lights here and keep the lights on and running this whole show. And by the way, I super appreciate you guys that support the sponsors, both the affiliate sponsors and just the general larger companies as well. But we don't take it for granted that these companies sponsor the show and bring you guys the podcast, Monday, Wednesday, Friday without fail. Plus, we also are able to take care of Marty, Mr. Producer, who is not cheap by any means, but you know why he's not cheap? Because he's one of the best. And so let's kick it over to Marty, Mr. Producer down in the ATL, and then we're going to come right on back.
I was following Brian, Caleb, and Paul's Instagrams over the weekend, keeping up with the big Together in the Trades marriage conference down there in Waco. And I encourage you guys to keep listening to future episodes of Fullerton Unfiltered. I'm sure Brian will come back with many insights from the conference and maybe some behind-the-scenes goodies as well. Now, we're able to bring you today's show thanks to the sponsorship of Ballard Innovative Products. Corey and his team over there have a full line of gear for all of you lawn and landscape professionals. They've got mower gear, safety gear, trailer racks, equipment securement, equipment servicing tools, aerators, mower blades, those X blades that everybody just raves about, aluminum baggers, and so much more. If you're truly looking to become efficient, and I know that that's the reason you're listening to the show, if you're looking to become more efficient, effective, and safe and profitable out there in the field, then you need to visit Ballard-Inc. or use the special link that's below, and that way you can truly elevate your business. Ballard has over 20 years of selling accessories, 30 years in the business. They've got what you need. They've got the know-how to help you use it. And don't forget to use Brian's 10 to save 10% off over there at Ballard. Once again, here's Brian Fullerton.
All right, good deal, guys. Well, let's just jump right back into it. Zachary, we're going right back to you. So let's talk about your startup story, your origin story for all my Marvel comic people. You got this like great little inception story, but you're 16, and I'm like, how far back can we go? But the reality is that you said you got started at 9 years old. Is that right?
That's right. Yep. So like I said, I'm still a kid and I enjoy doing kid set things, but I really do have a natural habit for hard work and discipline. I find work really fun to me. I don't know why, but I'll say something sort of embarrassing for you, sort of cute to others. I think when I was 7 to 3 years old, I would dress up in a suit with a briefcase and sit around at a desk and pretend like I was doing important business stuff, like I was some CEO. But I'll start talking about my landscaping business and how that all started. When I was about 9 years old.
That's awesome. Well, hold on. I got to interrupt you already. You said you would go in like the suit and tie. What did that represent, or what was that projecting, or what, like, did you want to be a CEO of a company one day, or what? How did you even know that?
I just enjoyed business. I always enjoyed like pretending like I was working, or it was just like sort of fun to me. Like, I don't know why, but it was just like what I did for fun. That's cool. 7-year-old kid. I don't know why, but
that's awesome, man. That's really, really cool. Well, now it's coming full circle. You're a businessman, so
that's right.
That's awesome. Right. So go back to you're 9 years old and you were wearing a suit and tie already, but so what was the grand scheme at 9 years old to start cutting grass?
Right. So when I was about 9 years old, me and my friend Mike, he was about 4 years older than me, so about 13 at the time. We wanted to make some money. So at the time, it was around fall season. I remember my dad just bought a steel 600 Magnum blower. And of course, being the 9-year-old I was, I had to try that out. So took some rakes and the blower out and went door to door with a little red wagon trying to make some money. And we ended up working the whole day because, who could say no to a little kid with a red wagon, right?
Right.
But yeah, and
that's awesome. Well, I would say that's awesome, man. That was actually my story too. I literally had a little cart, little red wagon, and put all my tools in there. Awesome. And I'm telling you, man, like I was so on it because I was like next level, like you with like Mr. Businessman, where we had the push mower, but it was self-propelled. So like I would stand in the back of my wagon and push mow, but the push mower was self-propelled. So I had a little powered wagon going down the road, man. And
oh my gosh,
yeah, I mean, I was like add some cool TikTok music to the background there, and the ladies can, stay off me, right? Back in the day. And even at 12 years old, right? Something like that. That's a lot of funny stories behind the scenes. Liz will laugh at that joke. But any which way, I was a good catch even back then. But so you're 9, 12, 14 years old with your buddy, and you guys are just trying to, drum up some extra cash, or what was the incentive or the motivation?
Right. So yeah, we were really, like I said, I've always been like a business guy. I always enjoy working. So whatever reason that came to mind, I was thinking about the other day, I don't know what, popped that thought into my mind of let's go door to door and try doing some leaf removal. But when I was 10 years old, we started mowing, and we'd push our mowers all over town to try to get the jobs done. And I think we had about 4 weekly accounts, which was, plenty of work for a 10-year-old. When I was 11, I was gifted a very old 30-inch ride-on mower, and that thing broke a ton. It just broke down every other day that we used it. My neighbor gave it to me.
Okay.
But I ended up buying a metal, one of those metal garden trailers to pull behind it.
Oh yeah.
And I would put the gas cans, the push mower, the weed whacker, the blower inside. Even though it broke down, it's pretty great for us, and it's a good blessing to have. But I got to say one thing about it though. So Michael, since he was the older guy, he would drive, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you know anything about a mower, it only has one seat, right? So I would sit on top of the push mower in the back of the trailer, and while he would drive. And I remember one time Michael couldn't work, right? And I was 10 years old at the time, like I said, and I was driving to the job because he couldn't work, so I did it by myself. It was about a 1.5 mile drive with a push mower, okay? Or with a riding mower. And I remember this cop pulls up right behind me, right? And he's driving so slow, because this mower goes 5-6 miles an hour.
Right.
And he's driving right behind me, and I'm thinking to myself, oh no, I'm not going to be able to do this job anymore. My mom's going to get mad at me, whatever. And he's going to give me a big fine or something for riding a mower on the side of the street. And long story short, he ended up just basically, I guess, sort of following me to the whole entire job. And as soon as he got to the job, he left.
Wow. No, okay. So he's kind of a little police escort,
Exactly, right?
He's probably making sure he didn't get
awesome.
Creamed by a truck or something, to be honest. But
right. It was nice of him, but at the time, my heart was beating like crazy. I was like, oh no.
Well, 10 years old and the police roll up behind you, you're afraid. Yeah, right. I mean that's funny right there, man. I can imagine that scene as a little dude out there. It was in the exact same boat. At 10, 12 years old, by the way, I had a lawn garden tractor as well. My dad actually gifted me one, and I didn't know if I was thankful for it or embarrassed for it, because it was this 20-year already old piece of junk tractor, and he's like you can go to the next level with your company, no more push mowing. And I was like, what are you doing? Why would you buy that?
Man.
I remember the looks people gave me, my friends gave me, and kids a couple years older gave me, and they were like, oh my God, look at this, moron with his little Murray tractor back in the day. But I didn't care, man. I was like, you might as well. I mean, it's like my dad dropped me off a Lambo. I was like, I was ready to
riding mower. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, dude. I just doubled my business. I was ready to roll.
Right.
So what's the story from 9, 10 years old right there, and kind of moving forward to where you're at today?
Yeah. So when I was 12 years old, I was doing around 7 to 10 jobs a week or so.
Okay.
So on top of that, sort of back to the mower deal, I don't know why I did this, but I ended up making a deal with one of my clients at the time. I traded a season mowing contract with him for a 42-inch Craftsman riding mower. Worked good for about a year, but that was it. And the younger kids listening to this podcast right now, I highly recommend not making deals with clients. That's enough said of that.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Was it like a Craftsman riding mower, you said?
Yeah. And it was probably, at the time, it was probably 8 years old, maybe, with 400 or 500 hours on it.
Yeah. That's crazy. I mean, probably good for residential, but not for, mowing, like you said,
right.
5-10 lawns a week. I remember same thing, man. I had just bought my Laser Z S series. It was $10 grand, and some lady down the road, she had a lawn care business in the trailer park. She had bought a Craftsman riding mower. And there's like my mower versus her mower, and I'm like, mine's $10,000, yours is like $2,000, and and nothing against, yeah, I was like, nothing against Craftsman, but it was like some residential homeowner mower, and hers kept breaking down, and I kept getting her clients because she could never show up, man. So, but I can't believe how far back these stories can go, like forever. But
I know. I was just thinking about it while I was just writing down some points today. I was like, wow, I had a pretty interesting childhood.
Yeah.
Cool.
Isn't it crazy like how all these like little stories like form like you as a person and your character, you know? But that's awesome. So keep us going, man. So where are we at on the timeline? I also want to say, like, I've been blessed just to have a really supporting family. I also have an uncle in Pennsylvania with a landscaping company, and he's sort of into like the hardscape designs and all that. But he also does, lawn maintenance and but I would say most of his stuff is landscaping, like flower bed installations, and then hardscapes. And then he also does a lot of plowing in Pennsylvania. In Ohio, we get like five storms a year, and that's it. Right. What's his first name or his landscaping company? If you want to give him a shout out,
it's Capela Landscape Design.
Oh, okay, cool, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, maybe if he listens to the show, he can give you a little thumbs up and a little high five, from PA. Yeah. That's awesome, man. I
also have a great friend out of Capela, Ohio. It's about 15 minutes away from me. So I think it's about maybe 10 minutes away from Akron or so. But he's also been a major help, and it's sort of nice to have like those guys around to give really good advice on anything landscaping.
Yeah.
I mean, not like Brian's advice, but getting there.
Yeah, well, yeah. My advice is 10 years of what I did wrong. So we would have been telling people what we've been doing right for about 3.5, But that's where all the fun stories come from, man. I've got all my crazy stories are always from some boneheaded thing that I did. Amen. So
right.
Well, one question I had for you is you said you were homeschooled. So what was the like the work school balance? Like a lot of public school kids, they get home at 2:00 or 3:00. Maybe do a little bit of homework, maybe. And then maybe they're mowing grass, 3 to 7 p.m. or something with their parents' help. So were you going out during the day? Did you have more flexibility? Like, did your mom or dad help you, or what was that like?
So I would say over the years, up till even now too, it keeps changing every year.
Sure.
Definitely when you're like 10 to 13 years old and you're not doing as many jobs as 10 to 55 clients a week is a big jump. But yeah, so I would say I'd be able to get my school done usually at the end of the year on time. Like last year, I was doing like summer school until like July, I believe.
Okay.
Just because I just couldn't get it done, and this year I'm probably gonna have to do the same.
Okay.
But I've been sort of blessed in a way. Like my mom was a high school math teacher, so things can come pretty easy, like when you have somebody that can teach you good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like usually my schooling schedule would look like do a couple hours in the morning, go work and knock out the jobs that I need to complete, and then come back home. And if I'm behind on school, I'll usually get something done in the evening before I go to bed. Or and I also play, like I said, I play basketball, baseball, volleyball. So
nice.
My evenings are usually pretty tight and pretty busy on that. So
yeah.
So yeah, like I said, a pretty active life, but
that's awesome, man. Good. Well, I'm always learning and whatnot too with us. A lot of the younger guys that get on the show, because you got public school, you got homeschool. Liz and I we don't want to send our kids to public school. We both went to public school.
Right.
And
I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you've felt like you're ever missing out about public school, you're not.
I know.
It's a cesspool. But and then we're like, well, we're gonna homeschool, and then Liz and I don't know. We're not the authorities on education or academia, so we're gonna hire a friend as a teacher to teach our kids. But then at the same point,
that's fun.
Yeah, I mean, at the same point, I'm also like, you know what? Maybe I just won't send my kids to any school and stop holding them back entirely, and just let them become billionaires by the time they're 18. Just having fun, But they got to learn to read and write, and all that fun stuff. But I don't know. I don't know about you, Zach, how it works at homeschool, but I smoked most of that by 5th grade. So I don't know what I was really learning that last 10 years, but I digress. So that's funny right there.
Right, I get you.
But we're get yourself to so present day. And I know we want to talk about some equipment too, because you got some really cool new upgrades. But so where are you guys at present day? You said 40-ish, 50 lawns. How does that work? That's crazy. That's a good schedule.
Yeah. I don't know how I got that far, and how I'm that busy, but advertising has worked pretty good. I mean, of course, like word of mouth always works the best. And when you're younger, going door to door with a red wagon, that also builds a reputation, and it keeps your name out there just because you went door to door as a young kid. But door hangers, that's always been something that gets me more jobs. When I was 12, I made those by hand until actually this year. I finally went out. I went to Vistaprint and I ordered some flyers because I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I did about 3,000 flyers this year. I probably got around 30 to 40 phone calls back from those, which was good for me. I was glad with that.
Wow, that's are you in like a subdivision or more rural, or how's that work?
So Wadsworth, there's a lot of different neighborhoods. I would say there's a big variety of, very high-end houses, and there's also a variety of, the more normal houses and normal sized lots.
Sure.
So yeah, I would say there's a bunch of different types of neighborhoods in Wadsworth.
Okay.
And it's all sort of scattered.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what are you doing to pass out the flyers? Are you like, hopefully, do you still ride the red wagon around? Or you got a car or bike, or what do you do?
So yeah, I can explain that some of that. When I was around, I think 14 years old. Let's see here. Yeah. So, actually, when I was 13, I actually started. When I was 13, at the time, Mike also went off and did his own thing. So Mike's not really working with me anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. He went and did work for a different company, and I think he's doing work for like a city. So he's doing that, and he's enjoying it. So good for him.
Yeah.
And I was doing around 10 to 13 jobs a week, and my dad actually ended up buying a mower off my uncle. It was his first commercial mower he ever had. It was a 20-year-old Exmart Metro, which was a belt driven, and which you use Exmart, but
yep.
Belt driven flips like crazy in the wet weather. So when you have a slope and you're like pushing that thing up there, it's heavy.
I do remember those days. We had a belt drive Metro 32 or 33. Yeah. And it would slip all the time. And
yeah. So I wanted to also say when I was 13, so after Mike sort of left, at this time, also I think 12, Michael had his license. So like the last year Michael worked with me, he had his license. He could drive to the jobs with his truck. We do that. But when I was 13, after Mike sort of did his own thing, so I ended up using my grandpa's trailer that he let me borrow for the season. And my dad would actually drive me around to all my jobs, all over Wadsworth. And my dad also was, he'd work from home.
Okay.
So
okay.
He could be very flexible. But every time my dad ever drive me around when I did the job, I'd have to be very on schedule, start at exactly at, 8:00 in the morning and work till they're done as soon as possible. So that way I'm not, my dad's way for his schedule.
Yeah.
But I just remember every time my dad, drove me, every time the job was finished, I would make sure all the equipment's off, everything's good to go, and get back in the car and close the door quietly because he was like the phone calls and the meetings and coffins. And my dad also works in like the financial field, so he was able to help keep me on track with like books and like making professional sounding texts or whatnot. But
that's awesome, man. What does he think about you running the lawn and landscaping business? At a young age, like is he encouraging you? Is he kind of like just
super encouraging?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My dad sort of keeps me on my feet and keeps me in line.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm doing a good job and, I guess being professional and, just being a good guy for my business.
That's awesome, man. Well, we've had Jake's Quality Lawn Care on here and his dad, Brian, as well. They were over here. And they actually came from Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is about 2 hours away. And just really, really good guys. And he's 15 and, same thing. I think he's got 40 lawns. He's a butt kicker. And so shout out to Jake if he's listening. Yeah, and then we also had another young guy on the show before, which was Connor Shop. I'm not sure if you saw any of those videos or podcasts with Connor and his dad, Greg. Again, great guys, and they're about 20 minutes east of me. And he's got a smaller company, like 10, 15 accounts, but that's all he's trying to get right now. And but he's got like top line equipment, man, like this X-Mark Laser Z X series and
No, I saw that on Instagram today. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just crazy to see like what you guys are building at such a young age. But well, here let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about equipment, because I know that's the exciting stuff to get at your guys' age. And I mean, even for a 30-year-old, like get new equipment. Actually, what I don't know when this podcast is coming out. Probably a couple of weeks from now when we are actually done shooting it today. But today I went and bought 2 new Red Max leaf blowers for my own business.
I saw that.
Yeah, one of them, was just broke down, and it was a couple $100 to get it fixed, and it wasn't really viable. And then another one, we don't know where it's at, literally.
Right. That's not good.
You're telling me, because I'm like, how do we not know where it's at? There's only 3 of us. We did this like 24-yard mulch job on a Saturday, and we just must have left it somewhere on the property, and it must have got yanked. I mean, my guys are, I mean, the most honest dudes you guys can come by, and but we 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, where's our other leaf blower? And by 9:30, I'd already dropped $1,200 at Weingart's for 2 new leaf blowers. So, but you know what? They're brand new. They work. They're great. They're really, really nice. And I'm like, you know what? Did I want to drop $1,200? No. But we got top of the line equipment again, and so we're always making investments in our business, and I'm excited about it. So I know you guys got to be at your age. So what's your current equipment setup and equipment look like?
So yeah, I mean, it's definitely changed over the years. So like I said, I was using that X-Mart Metro, and then when I was around 14, at the end of the season, I was doing around like 20 to 25 clients a week when I was 14.
Wow.
Not 14.
Yeah.
I was doing 15 on that. Sorry, 15 years old. I was doing around 20 to 25 clients a week.
Okay.
And at the end of that season, I was able to purchase a 6x12 landscape trailer and then a Skag V-Ride.
Oh, no kid.
Okay.
And
that was an awesome purchase, and really helped me grow my client. But yeah, it's a real sure blessing to be able to have a setup like that at such a young age.
Yeah. Did you get an enclosed or utility trailer, like an open trailer?
So yeah, I just got a landscape utility trailer, and it works good for what I need. And it's sort of nice to have the landscape trailer for mulching and whatnot, because you can't put mulch in a dump trailer, or not a dump trailer, they're enclosed.
Yeah, not very well, at least.
Yeah, not really. I mean, you can, but
I've seen people pack it with leaves, and I'm like, how?
Right.
If you guys do that, God bless you. I'm not making fun. I'm just like, how do you do that? How do you get them out? And
I don't know how you do that either.
Yeah, there's a company by us. They have box trucks, and they fill them with leaves, man. And those guys are over at the dump. There'll be 3 guys. They're just pulling leaves out with rakes, and I'm like, at least tarp it or something, man. I don't know, but
right.
You said you picked up a Skag V-Ride or V-Ride 2, or which one?
It was a V-Ride 1. It was a 2017. I bought it used off a guy on Craigslist. It only had like 200 hours on it, and the guy took very, very pristine condition. He used it for like just his own house and washed it. Probably waxed it after every time he mowed.
Sure.
The guy treated it like it's his Corvette or something. But yeah, it was really. I actually bought the trailer off of him as well.
Oh, okay.
Funny story. Me and my dad were going to pick up the Skag, and then we noticed the trailer over there, and we're like, "You gotta sell your trailer too?" And he's like, oh, "I guess."
Right.
So just took everything off of him, but.
That's funny. That's
good.
What if you don't mind me asking, what's a used V-Ride go for, like $2,000, $5,000? Yeah, I mean somewhere around there, or if you're comfortable with asking that.
Yeah, around like $4,500 is approximately what I paid for something like that. But
that's awesome.
They can run all over the place. I mean, commercial mowers last forever. I mean, you can run those things up to like 3,000 hours almost,
right?
2,500 hours.
Yep.
So when they're at like $2,500, they're still worth like $2,000 to $3,000 on like a a Laser V or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to be excited to be a 16-year-old kid with a V-Ride 1, man. That's awesome.
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah.
How does it stripe down there in Ohio with the grass type that you guys have? Is it lay some nice stripes?
Oh yeah, definitely. I was gonna say like, I think it's a landscaper thing, but like, the landscapers, we all love our stripes. But then then you get the client that's like, yeah, I don't actually like the stripes in my yard.
Yeah,
you're not stripe my yard. It's like, You don't like those?
Yeah, like I just paid $10,000 to make this happen. I literally had a lady
$500 striping kit.
Right. I literally had a lady in the trailer park I used to mow where I grew up in, and she did not like the stripes, and so we would mow, and it was a small lawn. It was only like 4 passes in the front. But what she made me do, and God bless her, she's like 70-year-old Agnes, and so I'd mow and make the stripes opposite lanes, right? But then I would go back over them the opposite way, and so like they would like kind of,
oh my goodness,
you know what I'm saying? Like I'd go back over my own lines the opposite way, so like it just looked like matted, like like no liveliness to it. I'm like, what are we doing? And I'm like, people pay to have a service to have stripes. It's like a
I know, right?
A homeowner flex, and
right, it is.
She was not having it, bro. But do you have the customers that appreciate your stripes down there in Ohio?
I have a few that are, like, can you mow this direction for me? I think it looks awesome that way.
Yeah.
Or like a certain pattern, but I think I enjoy my stripes more than some of my clients, to be honest. But that's usually how it goes.
Right. The only thing worse than the customer not appreciating the stripes is like when they go out on the property like for the weekend, which God bless them, it's their property, duh. But they like mess up all your stripes and your lines, or
right.
They ride their golf cart or their 4-wheeler across their property and like they mess up your lines, and it's like you're messing up my property, but it's like their home,
Right.
So, right. But I don't know if you guys ever feel that way. I'm like, don't make the lines ugly, like, or like their dog pees all over the yard and it's all like yellow, I'm
right.
like,
or they're like, can you like scout my yard, please? I just want it that way.
Oh,
that's
the best.
No, guys.
Yeah. Can you raise it up or drop it down? Those people,
Yeah, they're more like, yeah, can you mow my yard at like 2 inches?
Yeah. Yeah, and then they want bi-weekly service, right?
Yeah, no, sometimes monthly.
Yeah. Oh, you got the same people down there in Ohio that we do in Michigan, huh?
Oh, it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
I love it, man. People are like, hey, can you like mow it at 2 and then like every 3 weeks? And I'm like, yeah, you're not going to last with our crew. And God bless those people. We'll as my friend Paul Jameson. Do you ever listen to Paul Jameson on the Green Industry podcast?
I do not. No,
you got to check him. You got to check it out. Paul, he's got a podcast called the Green Industry Podcast, and him and another friend of the show, Naylor. Naylor's got a podcast called I think it's the LCR Media Podcast. Sorry, Naylor. I think it's named after himself, but those two guys they coined a term called the chuck and a truck, and we don't like make fun or bash the chuck and the truck guy, because some of us start off as the chuck and the truck guy, but it's like the dumpy truck with the dumpy mower, and he's got like $10 pricing, and he doesn't know kind of what he's doing. And
the $20 guy. Yeah,
the $20 guy, and you can't really like slate him, but like we all kind of like don't like the chucks and the trucks because like they don't charge enough, but
it's sort of nuts. Like I was just talking to one of my other buddies that's sort of in the landscaping field, and he was telling me when he started, he was doing around 200 accounts a week, and when he started, there was maybe 2 or 3 other trailers in Wadsworth, and now it feels like everybody and their grandma has a mower and a car going around trying to mow yards.
Yeah.
It's just like, the competition's sort of hard.
Yeah. Well, Paul, you know why? Because Paul's got such a banger podcast, and he's teaching all these young bucks out there how to mow grass and make that cash.
There you go.
He's got a book. He's got a podcast. Like Paul's like super successful. Like one day I have a, like we talk about these vision boards or these dream boards, I just have a photo of Paul up on my dream board, like published author and just chiseled 6-pack abs. And, he's always at the pool.
There you go.
Paul lives a dream, man. I live vicariously through Paul on his Instagram. So, and the only reason I keep poking fun at Paul right now is because I was listening to an episode earlier today, and he was making fun of me a little bit in a good way. Paul's a great friend of the show. He's a really good friend of mine, and great podcast. So when we're done with this, you got to go to iTunes and look up Green Industry Podcast and hit subscribe. Right? That's your 16-year-old.
I just wrote it down. I got it.
That's your homework, right? And
there you go.
Do they do homework with homeschooling, or how does that work? Like
your homework is your homework.
Yeah.
You're at home doing your school, right? So I think of it this way too.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm making fun of myself right now. Like I thought that was a really funny joke. I'm about to have a kid here, man. So like that's a good dad joke right there. Because like other kids, they have to bring it home. So what do? Do you like take it out? Like you guys like go to Starbucks or something? Like
Oh my goodness, man.
That's funny right there, dude. Marty, Mr. Producer, he's the producer of this show. And so what Paul and I do is when we put our foot in our mouth, what he does, Marty comes back and he puts the show back on the rails for us. So like if you ever play bowling, you know, they got like the bumpers. So that's what he does. He's like, now time for a commercial break. And that's code for, hey, you guys aren't really good at this. And but you know what? Not too bad. We're in the top 100, baby. So
that's right. There you go.
All of you guys listening in, you guys know I'm Forrest Gump in my line, my race to the finish line here. But let's get back on track with you, brother. So so we're talking about equipment. You got the V-Ride, you got the awesome utility trailer, and then so do you have a truck yet, or how's that set up?
So I'm very fortunate to be able to. My dad, I just got my license too. When my dad was driving me around, we just used, I think he had like a 2006 Suburban.
Okay.
And that's what we've been using. And my dad is gracious enough to let me borrow it for my landscaping. And one of my goals is eventually to buy a truck once the time and place and works out for that. But yeah, my dad's very gracious by letting me use his truck.
That's awesome, man. Well, 10, 15 years from now, maybe even sooner if you want. But, like if he's got some dream car, like some old Corvette or some Chevelle, you know, you can say, hey, thanks for investing into my company when I was 16 and, go get him some $40,000 old muscle car, and
that's right.
Say, hey, I know you're retiring and I appreciate you, but you drove me around. Now I get to drive you around. So here's a new car.
That's right.
That's awesome.
That's right.
That's awesome.
That'd be the goal.
That's cool. So you got your driver's license now. Did you have your own truck, or are you still using the Suburban to get around, or what?
So yeah, I'm still using the Suburban to get around. But yeah, like I said, this is like the first year I sort of kicked it into high gear now that I can be on my own schedule and not have to have my dad drive me around with my brother.
Yeah.
My brother also works with me. The dude's the boss on the lead trimmer, I'll tell you that. But he also worked with my buddy Jesse at Capela, like I said.
Okay.
He also worked there for I think 4 years, and he was doing like 55 hours a week there. So
that's
he
awesome.
knows what he's doing, which is good. But yeah, this year I sort of kicked into high gear and doing, like I said, 50 to 55 clients a week and about 80 or so yearly clients in total. Have around 3 to 5 guys working with me each week. And the Lord blessed me also to be able to purchase a new trailer. I got a 7x16 enclosed trailer. And then I also got a Skag Cheetah with a bagger.
That's what you just bought this year? You got those are new, or those are what you want to get?
So yeah, I got those this year. I got those enclosed.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks, man. I got the enclosed about a month ago, and I just picked up the Skag 3-4 days ago.
Wow, that's awesome, dude. You got to be so excited.
Oh, I'm so excited. I haven't really used the new mower yet, so I'm ready to try it out.
That's awesome, man. And here's the thing. Some of you guys get on the show, and especially you younger guys, you guys are humble and you guys are just excited. You guys are just excited. Like who wouldn't be excited? Zach, on my show, you're allowed to be excited. You're allowed to win. You're allowed to encourage the other guy. If you guys get on the podcast in the future, I want to hear your story. I want to hear about the new cool things that you guys are buying. Like 4 years ago, me buying $1,200 of backpack blowers was, Liz and I would have had to have a conversation. Like, can we just get one, or can we just repair another? Like, and I walked in today, I called the guys with the phone, prep 2, charged my card on file, and I walked right out. Like, it was no big deal. Like, that's awesome. That's a win for me in my life. Like, I'm still trying to grow and hustle, and just like you guys are. And I don't care if it's a backpack blower or a 6, 8, 10 grand Skag. Which one did you get? The Cheetah? Mm-hmm. That's awesome, man. So tell me a little bit about the Skag Cheetah. You seem like a big Skag guy down there in Ohio, and
I love Skag. I mean, I like Exmart too, and I've always sort of been an Exmart guy until I got that V-Ride. Jesse, my buddy Jesse, uses all Skag.
Yeah,
that's sort of what convinced me to go with Skag. For right now, at least. And I've used a Laser Z. I've tried them out. My uncle has a Laser Z and like I think 2 or 3 turf tracers.
Wow.
But I really like the Skag. I think their cut quality is really nice.
I agree. Yeah. I think Skag's cut quality with the V-Ride 2, the Velocity Plus deck, and
they all have those now, except for like their like sort of low-end commercial / residential.
Okay.
They
Gotcha.
all have them. So the Cheetah has the Velocity deck. My V-Ride 1 actually has the Velocity deck too.
Yeah, that's right. The old school version, I think, might have got revamped a little bit. But yeah, the Skags lay great stripes, man. Like I would have no problem running a Skag.
Do.
Like they're great. I'm pretty biased to Xmark, just not because they're sponsors or they create content with us and sponsor the show, which is greatly appreciated. Right. But at the same point, like I've just bought Xmark for 10, 15 years from Weingart.
Right, you sort of stick with what you like and you're used to it.
Yeah,
and it sort of works out that way. I don't know. It's sort of nice to have know what you're buying too.
Yep.
After you already own one, you know how the parts work. You know how the dealer is. It's just like.
Yeah, it just really help. Let me ask you this. A question I have for you with social media. So, where did you first hear about us? And then do you ever watch like the review videos or the how-to videos like on YouTube from us or other people? Or how, I guess what my question is, how did you know to go with the Skag Cheetah? How did you know to go with that mower next?
So, let's see. So yeah. The social media wise, I mean, I've been watching you probably since I was maybe 11, 10 years old.
Wow, no kid.
Yeah, no, it's sort of crazy how I stumbled across you. I sort of found you on YouTube.
Yeah.
Also, Jake the Lawn Kid.
Yeah, Jake's awesome, man.
Yeah, that was one. I like him because he sort of has a similar story to me too. Because he pulled a wagon around and went door to door too. And
shout out to Jake.
Yeah, him and. Is it the Dirt Monkey, right? That guy?
Yeah, Stanley.
Is that his name?
Yep.
That's
awesome.
You, of course, and yeah. So I sort of know the loop of some of the guys. But yeah, definitely helped me with just like sort of advertising. I mean, I watched your video on like the advertising with flyers.
Yeah.
Trying to think. Yeah, tips and tricks here and there. It's sort of nice to get somebody else's opinion, but like I said, like. That and with my uncle's opinions and my buddy's opinions, it's sort of nice to, have that all, easy to access.
That's awesome, man.
But yeah, like back to your question, the Skag. So yeah, my buddy Jesse owns 2 Skags, 2 V-Rides, V-Ride 2s. And I've seen, his reviews on it. He really likes them. And he says almost all good things about them. And also my church recently bought a Skag Turf Tiger to use for their property.
Yeah.
And I'll occasionally mow my church when I have some time. And I really like the way that one worked.
Mm-hmm.
So after they purchased that and I mowed with it a couple of times, I was like, all the guys around my area all have the Skag mowers, almost all of them. And I purchased the V-Ride. And after the V-Ride, I was like, sit down would be nice. So.
Yeah.
That's why I went with the Cheetah.
What's the local dealer? Do you want to give them a shout out? What's the dealer that you picked them up from?
So Weinsberg Lawn and Garden. It's about 45. No, it's probably more like an hour away from me.
Okay.
I tell you what, those guys are some of the best like you'll ever meet in like the dealership wise. They offer me very good prices on stuff. On almost any tool wise. They're very knowledgeable. They know a lot of stuff. Very easy to work with. I mean, I think we called them about the Skag, and they had it ready with the bagger installed and everything in like 2.5 hours.
Wow, that's really good.
Like, yeah, I was like really impressed that they were like, yeah, let's come on down an hour and a half or 2 hours or so, and we'll have it ready right before closing.
Wow. And did you bring the new 7x14? I think you said enclosed trailer, or did you have the old utility trailer?
7x16, yeah.
7x16.
Yeah, 7x16. We drove it down. Yep.
Wow. So where do you store the trailer? Do you store it like at the house or on the property, or?
Yeah. So there's enough room in our driveway for right now.
Sure.
It's starting to look a little bit like a landscape supply store, but we're doing all right for right now. We have enough space.
That's awesome, man. That's all. Your parents got to be pretty proud of you, bud. So that's that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Well, here, let's do this. We'll probably land the plane here in just a quick minute or two, but we're already at almost 45 minutes, which is awesome. This has been a really, really fun conversation. But let me ask you this: what's the plan for the future? Because you're 16. So obviously, you'll graduate from schooling, and I'm not sure if you're going the college route. So that's question number one. And then question number two: Are you going to keep the business, keep it growing, or or you're just going to do lawn care, or you're going to go to college, or what's the future look like for you?
Sure. Yeah, I probably will. I'm probably leaning towards no for college for right now. I'm not 100% positive yet. My thought process is sort of along the lines of, should I spend the money on college maybe to have a backup plan, or do I spend the money on keep growing my company and using that to, gain more clients and more equipment and whatnot. But
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, you can grow the company and then employ your older brother, right? So
exactly. There you go.
He's got a finance degree. You can give him an accounting job, and
right.
He can
count keep my books for me.
Yeah, he can do your books and count the beans, and I'm just having fun there. But it's funny that you can grow a business with family though too. I mean, and having your dad help you out and give you some mentorship at a young age, that's invaluable. My younger brother worked for me actually, but he only lasted about 3 months and then he quit. So
that's usually how it goes, though.
Yeah,
it's hard running a business with family, but
yeah, well,
you love him though.
so some of the guys that have listened to other episodes, they know he quit because he wanted to watch FIFA Cup soccer at 2:00, and
oh my goodness,
yeah. So I don't know if you heard this story, but he wanted to watch soccer, and I'm like, well, dude, we still got lawns to cut, and he goes, you got lawns to cut, and he goes, I'm gonna go watch soccer, and I said, you can't quit. I'm firing you. And he goes, you can't fire me. I quit. And I said, you can't quit. I'm telling mom. And and so 15 years later, it's still like the running brotherly fight. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's funny.
And he always says I paid a slave labor wage at like, $4 an hour. And he was getting like 10 cash back in the day, dude, which in today's money is probably like $18-20 an hour. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
Any which way. But yeah, go figure. He went for accounting, and now he does like sports marketing, and now he works in email marketing. Cool. Yeah. But anyway, side note there.
Definitely my dad helps me a ton and occasionally works with me on the weekends. I think, like I said, I'm pretty active in my church, but right after church, we ended up having to mow from like 2 to 9 at night. Me and my dad did, just because of the weather that we've been getting because of all the rain. But
sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It happens.
Well, good for you, man. Yeah. That's a great startup story and what you got going on so far, man. It's been I'm sure if you snap your fingers, it feels like you just got started doing all this yesterday when you were a kid, But
right.
You're 16, like I said earlier, going on 25, and just kicking butt, man. And really, really excited for you. Really, really proud of you. And I'm sure your uncle's proud of you. I'm sure your dad's really proud of you. So keep doing what you're doing, and keep taking their advice. And you already know this, but here's what I'll suggest is don't get distracted with, stupid stuff or relationships, and, find the right people, find the right girl, but, take your time. Like right now, you know what I'm saying? Make the money.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. Make the money, save the money. Don't necessarily always keep buying like cool clothes or shoes or, smartphones and all that, junk. Invest into the future, man. Your dad's got a background in finance. If he can help you with, making some financial decisions, it could pay you huge dividends, long term. So pick his brain. If he's been doing his career for 20, 30, 40 years, he might be able to help you out. And if your dad listens to the show, I didn't mean to, say 40 years. I don't know how old your dad is, he's like, hey man, I'm only 45, or whatever, so just having fun. But hey, we always like to button up the podcast with like any thoughts that you want to leave the audience. So like any practical tips, maybe somebody who's 10, 12, 15, 18 years old, just getting their own business started, or talking to the Zachary from 6 years ago. What any parting pearls of wisdom that you want to leave these guys while we got you?
Yeah, definitely. I would just say making smart business purchases, keep growing as a company. Smart business purchases is like only buy stuff when it's really necessary and when it makes sense. You don't want to break a bank on a really nice piece of equipment just because you want it. I mean, time will come and you'll have that when it's there. But yeah, I mean, being a good boss to your employees and being a good trainer. I mean, it's hard to have patience with some of the kids that, especially when you're my age and you're hiring your friends.
Yeah.
You don't want to hurt their feelings, and you want to still be their friends after you're done working.
Right.
But keep building a good reputation around your town, and that's still something I got to keep working on. But I had a point. Let me see if I can find it here. But yeah, like one like building a good reputation is very important, and especially in the neighborhood I am in. It's a small world everywhere, but you're going to get your name around there faster than you think.
Yeah.
Just recently, one of my first clients to ever have passed away to a heart attack at age 56.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I'm making an effort to try to clean up the yard for free and help them out, but
sure.
It's important to keep your good clients that are very supportive, lean back a little bit and not gonna, nitpick you or nickel and dime you for everything.
Yeah.
And also just honor and glorify God when you're out working. I mean, I put the verse on all my flyers, but Colossians 3:23, whatever you do it heartily unto the Lord, not unto men.
There you go, man. That's awesome. Look at you.
Can we say that?
Yeah.
I said heartily and not heartedly.
Yeah, there you go. Well, honestly, man, you got a great foundation. So I'm really excited for you. I'm pulling for you, and all of you other young entrepreneurs that have got your business started. And I don't care if you got one customer or you got 22 customers. It's just exciting to hear some of you guys out there that this podcast isn't just for the 30-year-old grown guy trying to switch careers and chisel out $150,000 a year business or $500,000 business. We love getting guys that are 35 and 55 to younger guys that are on here 14, 16, 18 years old. I'm not age biased with this podcast. We love getting the younger guys on the show too, because you guys are the future. You guys are the future of the industry and the future of business growth. And if guys like myself or Paul can just give you like one tip or one degree and help you guys grow and maybe save you a little bit of heartache or pain or frustration, then that's what it's all about, man. Just I always tell people, I always tell you guys, remember me when you're older, richer, and famous. You know what I mean? So and
that's right.
Remember me when I'm the old fart, and you got to take care of me. Amen. So. But just having fun there. So, but all right. Well, hey, we'll button it up right here, man. Any last thoughts? But if not, we'll shut it down.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you having me on the show, and it's really fun and being here and getting some good advice from you. And thanks for taking the time to listen to my story. And I had a really good time. It's fun.
Absolutely, man. Hey, one last thing I'd like to say is if people want to follow up with you on Facebook or Instagram, if they want to reach out, a lot of you younger guys love to network together. Can they find you like on Instagram or Snap or what? Anything that you're using?
My Instagram is just my name. It's Zachary Capela at Instagram. So
ZacharyCapela. So cool.
Yep, you got it.
And then what's the name of your lawn and landscape company again? It was Zachary's Lawn and Landscape.
Yep, you got it.
Awesome, bud. Good job, man. Well, this is a fun episode, man, and thanks for playing with me here on the homeschool jokes. And
no, I enjoy them. I'm used to them now. It's sort of funny to me.
I know, but it's funny, dude. Like 5 years ago, like we would my first employee was a homeschooler kid, and he was awesome, like the most cordial, nicest kid ever. But he twitched a little bit. I'm still like best friends with his dad. He's actually one of my life mentors. Now the kid's a graduate of West Point. He's like a high-ranking officer, and he's like one of like a couple hundred people being considered for Space Force, But so bright future for my whole homeschool kids too. But all you public school kids, hang in there,
I would mention it is nice being homeschooled though, and I also have a lot of other homeschool friends that actually work with me, so it's really fun. So almost all my guys except for one are homeschooled. So
really? You got the homeschool brigade.
Dude, I'm gonna be doing summer school because of you, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I mean, you don't have to work if you don't want to, but I need your help.
That's awesome.
Awesome, yeah.
I literally had to mute my mic because I laughed out loud. That's how hard I was laughing about 2 seconds ago. I don't know. Like, it's a real thing now. Like homeschooling is taking over because. I mean, you don't have to get overly political. Like people are just sick and tired of the school systems, man. And maybe not the school system, but the agenda getting pushed in school. And it's crazy. So our kids are definitely not going to public school. We're not even sending them to Christian school anymore. We're sending them to homeschool down in my basement. I'm spending like $100,000 finishing my basement so I can have a school in there.
There you go.
And some other fun places that'll have activities down there. But people are like, where are you going to send your kids to school? I'm like, my basement, and hire a teacher for $30,000 a year. But Any which way, so that's where I'm at. But no, this has been a really fun episode, man. I can't believe you get to go an hour long with a young 16-year-old stud. But here's the thing, man. You guys are awesome. You guys are the future. You guys are butt kickers, and I'm really, really proud of you, man. So, guys, keep up with Zachary. Maybe we'll get a little end of season update or something. Get him back on the show here before you know it. But appreciate you taking the time to be on the show, bud.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, let's do this. Let's kick it back over to Marty, Mr. Producer over there in the ATL. He's a very intelligent and very, he pronounces things very correctly. So I'm wondering if he was homeschooled himself or if he went to public school. Maybe he can weigh in on that. I'm sure he's got a funny ad lib and a funny story. But back in the day when he went to school, back in the 50s or 60s, I don't know if they did that like on the side of a hill with some people like in robes and sandals or how that worked. But any which way, he does a pretty good job for the show, doesn't he? So we'll button it up right there. All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Fullerton Unfiltered. Gosh, I can only imagine what Marty, Mr. Producer, is going to come on back with. Guys, that's the end of my show. You guys have a great night. We'll catch up with you guys here on the next one.
Yeah, of course, there was that day the teacher fed everybody with just a few fish and a couple of loaves of bread. Brian, the comment that I always hear from people is, you don't sound like you're from Alabama. By the way, the sweetest music to my ears is still a pretty Southern belle yelling, "Roll Tide, roll." Here's the truth. I was taught by the Germans. Growing up in Huntsville, Alabama, I did attend public school, but because NASA and the space program had a really huge presence there with Redstone Arsenal and all of that, my teachers were all the wives of the rocket scientists that Operation Paperclip moved to the Rocket City. Operation Paperclip, there's a fun rabbit hole for you. So yes, I had a very atypical upbringing, but enough about me. Let's hear me talking about today's sponsor. Ballard Innovative Products is a full line of gear for the lawn and landscape professional. From mower gear, safety gear, trailer racks, equipment securement, equipment servicing tools, aerators, mower blades, X-blades, aluminum baggers, and much more to make you efficient, effective, safe, and profitable in the field. Check out Ballard-Inc.com to help dominate and elevate your business. Ballard Innovative Products. With over 20 years of selling accessories and 30 years in the business, we're sure that we've got something you can't live without. We appreciate the support and look forward to serving you this season. Stay safe and keep grinding, friends. And don't forget to use Brian's 10 to save 10% at Ballard-Inc.com.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.